Well guys, I just went out here for the first time with this St. Croix Victory, and the Jerk is what it's called. Threw it around a little bit, caught one super small bass and one kind of regular sized bass on it. So the fish weren't biting a whole lot tonight on jerkbaits at least, but I did get to test the rod out and kind of see how it feels. And overall, as long as this thing holds up and the durability is good, I really like it. So the length is great on it. It's a very, very short handle. It's a 6/8, it's a medium extra fast. And the two fish I did catch, it seemed to catch them very well, pinned them up very, very good. No issues with that. The first one was a little bit weird. You'll see it on the video there earlier. It's a bit odd because it was a tiny bass and he kind of dove into some moss, so it was kind of a little hard to really tell I even had a bite, to be honest. And then the second one is a good one there. Hook set him, everything loaded up, super smooth on the rod. I landed the bass with no problem. So yeah, I think this one's going to be a winner, guys. A St. Croix Victory, the Jerk, 6 foot 8 inch medium extra fast. Seems to be a super nice rod. So we'll keep throwing it. You guys, I'm sure we'll see this on the videos on the channel more, but first impressions on this, guys, is a very nice rod. I got it on a discount too on a Tackle Warehouse sale, so you can get them for a little bit cheaper sometimes, which is nice. But overall, like I said, it's a good one. So we'll keep throwing it and see how it goes. But appreciate you guys tuning in. God bless y'all. Take care. Well, hey guys, I've got a new rod out here I'm going to try out. I just got this in the mail. It's a St. Croix Victory. It's a jerkbait rod. And this one is a 6 foot 8 inch model. It's a medium power and it's an extra fast tip on there. So it's called the Jerk. So St. Croix Victory, the Jerk is what they call this. And I've been really loving jerkbaits lately. So I figured, you know what? Probably time I get myself a dedicated rod for them. I've been using medium heavies. And they work fine, but I think the medium is going to help keep them pinned a little bit better, especially since I use barbless hooks a lot of the time. But anyways, I'm going to go out here and throw it. I've got it set up on my Daiwa SV. This is my 6.3, and I've got some 12-pound fluorocarbon, the Seagar red label. So let's go ahead and make this first cast here, see how this bad boy goes. First things first, I can tell you this rod is incredibly light. It is like a feather, weighs nothing compared to the rods I'm used to. And let's see how that extra fast tip handles that. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's a very snappy tip on there, so seems true to the extra fast rating. Hopefully I can get a couple of fish caught on this tonight and see how it keeps them pinned. Yeah, the 6.8, especially with me being a bank angler, wow, it makes it very, very easy to work this. Usually I have to be a lot more mindful of like hitting into these like sticks and things, and this little 6'8" action makes that super easy. Yeah, man, I can't explain to you how lightweight this thing is. This thing is so super light. Now I'm used to longer rods, so it does feel a little weird casting it with this really short handle, but that's good though. So when you're actually working this, it doesn't hit into your arm like you would get on a long handled rod. So for a jerkbait, that is perfect. Really hope something bites tonight. I'd love to catch something on camera on this rod. My first night out with it. If not tonight, we definitely will, because I've been fishing these a lot. I've been catching a lot of fish on jerkbaits lately, so if not tonight, I'll have some more coming soon. Now that's one thing I was a bit concerned about with this length on it. Since I mostly fish from the bank, I was worried about how the 6.8 was going to cast, but just from casting it 5 or 6 times out here already, I can tell you right now it casts just fine. And I've actually casted jerkbaits on 7.5 rods before, which I know is super long, but I've got a Shimano SLX in 7.5, and I've casted them on that, and I'm telling you, you really don't lose much casting distance at all with this 6.8. So don't be afraid of that. If you're kind of concerned about that being too short, you're going to lose a ton of cast distance. You probably lose a little bit, but I've casted enough of them in this pond, I can tell you they're going right about where they normally do with the longer rods, so it's not a problem. Yeah, no, that's one thing I can say will take getting used to, because all of my rods are longer than this, so this really short handle feels a little strange when you're casting, almost like it's going to fly out of your hands. So not a fault of the rod, it's just I'm just not used to that, so that will take a little bit of getting used to. But that's perfect, because when you're out here actually working this, you don't have to worry about the butt of the rod hitting into your arm and you don't have to move your arm in any strange manner to avoid that. So that's perfectly good. That's what it's designed for. Just going to take some getting used to with actual casting for me. Now that's one thing I noticed. Occasionally I will twitch the rod upward when I'm working a jerkbait due to a shallow area or when I'm just not wanting to get it down too far. The 6/8 rod is so much easier to twitch upwards compared to like something in the 7 foot range. That's just something I immediately noticed while I started to do that. The more like sideward twitches, it's fine, but twitching upwards like this, I can really tell a difference. It's much easier, much more snappy on this little 6/8 compared to a longer 7 foot rod. I'm gonna slow down my cadence a little bit tonight too. The weather has dropped in temperature over the last couple of days, so it's possible these fish have slowed a little bit. I don't know. I had a super scrawny little bass on there. Okay, that was weird. I didn't know if I had a bite there or what. I thought I had a bass, then I kind of thought I had a weed or something, so that was interesting. Let me grab some pliers. These little dinky ones with the treble hooks aren't my favorite ones to grab without some pliers, so get him off real quick. Okay. Okay, so that was the first one. So yeah, not a great one to test the rod on. You can see it's like the size of the jerkbait basically, but I mean it is a bass, so well, let me catch a different one before I give a opinion on how this thing feels, because that one was weird. It felt like a bite, and then it felt like I was just in a clump of moss, and then it felt like nothing. So I think that bass ran into some moss real quick, and that's all I could feel at first. So not a great one to tell you how the rod loads. But the little dink, he was hooked fine. Everything was good on that. So I did land him, so that counts for something. I need to get a good one that bites and really rips the line so I can really feel how this rod loads up, both on the bite and the retrieve. That little tiny thing I caught there, that was just too weird to really tell. So we're gonna keep on going. But I will say, the fish was landed. He was hooked good, kept him pinned, even though he was a tiny one. So the rod is performing as expected. Just from catching on a few weeds out here, I can tell you, I think this rod is gonna load up real nicely under an actual bite. Yeah, now that's another thing I can quickly tell you. Due to this thing being so lightweight, the short handle on it, the short length, I feel like I could literally work this thing for hours without hardly any fatigue. And if you fish jerkbaits much, you know they are definitely one of the more tiring methods of fishing. Your arms get tired, your elbows and shoulders start hurting, so they beat you up a little bit. But this rod, I feel like I could work this thing for hours out here with relative ease. Oh, hey, now we got one on there. That's a bass. That's a bass. That's a bass. That feels good. That feels really good. Okay, there we go. We got some action now. We got us a fish on the line, folks. Let's get that out of there, not break this rod tip. Okay, so I've got the bass unhooked. He's probably about a little under a pounder. He's not a very big bass, but that was a proper bite. I could feel that. The rod held up, like the way it loaded up felt absolutely perfect. So that medium action is definitely doing its job, getting back in the water. Yeah, when I felt the bite on there, it was just a gradual bend and load, and it just kept them pinned perfectly. Really lovely feeling. So I definitely enjoy that. I can't wait to get some more bites on it. Yeah, on that bite, the action on that, the way it loaded up, it was just lovely. It wasn't a very like harsh response. It was just a gradual kind of bending in to the bite. Very nice. And that's where you want that medium action on a jerkbait, so that it's not such a harsh pull on there, and it doesn't rip it from their mouth. These hooks are such light wire little hooks. It's very easy to pull from the mouth of the fish and lose them. You know, one thing I hope the rod holds up good. It's very, very thin and very limber on the front, on the tip of it. So I do hope it holds up well. St. Croix has a really great warranty, a 15-year warranty, and I think you pay $60 even if you break it on your own. But hopefully it'll just hold up and take a lot of use without any issues, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, as long as this thing holds up and, you know, it doesn't snap in two on me or something like that, so far I am very, very impressed. Even though I've only caught a few bass, I've got to do some more thorough testing, but man, feels great so far.